So I like to keep my head to the ear, like my ear to the... So today I wanted to do a video about some exercises that I've seen people do recently, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I like to keep my ear to the ground in CrossFit to kind of see what they're doing in their weightlifting sessions to improve their weightlifting. So basically something that I've been seeing a lot recently, which I don't know where people are getting this from, like where in the weightlifting archives of exercises they're getting this from, but the jerk drive. So basically, for those of you who don't know, a jerk drive is basically where you have the barbell on your shoulders and you go to like drive the bar, but you don't jerk it. So you do like half a jerk without actually jerking it. So to demonstrate, what people have been doing is basically like racking the bar, driving it for a jerk, and then just re-racking it, like without jerking it. So just... And that's basically what I've seen loads of people do, and they incorporate it within like a complex. So they'll do like a clean, a jerk drive, and then a jerk. So what I have been seeing and what I don't agree with, and I'll tell you why in a second, is that people have been doing this exercise with less than their 100%. So like with weights that they can actually jerk. So as far as I understand, people are programming this specific exercises to help people improve the initial leg drive in the jerk. So like getting the power from the legs into the barbell to fully complete a jerk. Now, I don't agree with this exercise, and I'm gonna tell you why. So the reason, number one, that I don't like it that much is that it's a very vague, like in-specific exercise or unspecific exercise. When a coach puts in weightlifting exercise into a weightlifting program, they will usually give you specific reasons as to why you're doing this exercise. So say you're doing a pause jerk, it will usually be to, if you either pause in the dip, it will be to work on your positional stuff in the dip to keep your chest up and really like feel the force coming from your legs. Or if you're doing a pause in the split, it's to reinforce your split position. However, this specific exercise, unless obviously your coach has given you different things, it seems like a very vague exercise to put in to improve something that could be replaced with a much more specific exercise. So people are programming a jerk drive to help you drive through the bar. However, I personally believe that there's so much room for error within this specific exercise, which could lead to other things or could inhibit you from getting better because there are so many things that could go wrong with this specific exercise. As an example, what I'm saying is, say I'm gonna do a jerk drive, but say the athlete or me has a problem with driving forwards. So their problem is that when they go to jerk, the barbell is forwards and they're like this. If I do, or if I program a jerk drive, I can jerk drive from here. And it won't be that much of a problem. So what you're basically doing is programming someone something which isn't going to help their problem, it's just going to exacerbate it, make it worse. Whereas if you wanted to stop your drive from being forwards, what you could do is pause in the actual drive and then go to jerking. Instead of doing this, which will only then further exacerbate when you jerk, to do it forwards and then you might lose the bar. The problem with this exercise is that people are doing it with less than their 100%. In my opinion, if you are going to program a jerk exercise in order to improve your jerk, you should just be jerking. You should just jerk the weight. If, for example, you have been programmed to do jerk drives, say with like more than your 100%, I completely can kind of understand why people would want to do that, to try and get you used to the weight on your shoulders. However, with less than 80%, one, it's vague, and two, you should just jerk it. You get way more feedback as to what you are doing right and what you could be doing wrong than if you just jerk drive it, where there's so much room for error that you could be like, oh, actually it feels okay, but you could be doing a plethora of things wrong that then come out when you actually do the jerk. So that is to be honest, that's the main issue with it for me.
I was going to say also you can flip it. You can do a jerk drive perfectly,
yeah,
and then when you come to jerk it, the jerk is terrible.
Yeah, because a jerk isn't just about the drive, it's about the split position, it's about your arms following through, pushing through the barbell. There's so many things that go with the jerk after the drive that deconstructing it so much for me doesn't seem like a useful tool to get better at weightlifting. So the final thing that I disagree with the jerk drive is that there are actually so many more exercises that you could do that are way more specific and way better for you. Say you are an athlete who really struggles with catching the barbell in a split position and your coach just programs you jerk drives because they want you to they think that just by making you more powerful or more powerful in the jerk, that it's going to help your jerk position. Now, in my opinion, A, that coach is an idiot, and B, you should be focusing way more on exercises that help that specific and address that specific issue. The jerk drive is just too broad. If I want to address my specific issue, which is positioning in the split, I should be working on positioning in the split. If I want to get more out of my legs, I should be doing pause jerks to really feel the barbell and like push through the barbell. If I want to get better at jerks, I should just be jerking it and working on specific technical issues. For me, I think personally that the jerk is probably more complicated than the clean, in my opinion, because there's so much room for error. I'd say it goes snatch, jerk, then clean. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's about...
I would put jerk at the top for me.
Okay, yeah. So for you, well, mine goes snatch, jerk, clean. For us, it's jerk, clean snatch. Yeah. And I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, there's so many things that could go wrong with it where a jerk drive doesn't address that. I think there's too much inspecificity around the jerk drive where it leaves too much room for error. Your coach should be programming you specific exercises that help your specific issues, not like a broad exercise like that, which, to be honest, like I can get on board with if it could help in a general sense, like could lead to help anyone, but this jerk drive doesn't help anyone. It's not a helpful exercise. It won't teach you to drive more because you're actually not having to drive at all, because for a jerk drive all you need is for it to leave your shoulders a little bit to get the stimulus that they want you to get. So it's not going to help you drive more. If you want to jerk heavy, the reality is you just need to do it. And coming from someone who jerks a lot more than they clean, I can promise you that the bar is always going to feel heavy on your shoulders, and whether you jerk drive it or don't jerk drive it before, it's not going to make much of a difference, and it's always going to feel heavy, and you just have to mentally be able to overcome that. And the jerk drive isn't a tool that is going to help you do that. You basically just got to stop being such a big fat.
That's the only reason you get away with doing drives, right? Is if it's super heavy, like 120%, and you're not driving and throwing it off your chest. You're more doing drives where you feeling a heavier weight, controlling the dip, and then pushing up a little bit to give you the stimulus.
Exactly. Which I would then argue are jerk dips, not jerk drives.
Yeah.
Because I have done jerk dips before, where I've like loaded the bar to like way more than what I can it's not more than I can front squat now, but more than I could jerk, and then just like really controlling that eccentric dip, and then just like standing back up, it's not really like driving it. And in that I can kind of understand the reasoning behind it, but equally for me that isn't something that would lie at the forefront of weightlifting programming for jerks.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
It's similar. It's almost as if you were doing. It's like when you do snatch pulls or you do clean pulls. You normally do like 110% or something to get the stimulus. Because if you're just doing it with your snatch pull and you can snatch 100 and you're doing like a snatch pull plus a snatch with 60, and you're pulling like this snatch pull like all the way up here with 60, when in reality when you get to a heavy weight you only have to actually pull a bar so high before you have to work at getting under it. So the pull should be heavier to give your body that stimulus to get used to heavier weights, but doing it with a weight that you can pull up to your chin is almost futile, because that's never going to happen. And it's the same with the drive. People bloody drive in their jerk drive up to here, and then when they do a jerk it looks nothing like it with light weights. It's just silly. It's the same as doing, like I just said, like when people do clean pulls like this, it just makes no sense, because it's not what happens.
Now, as I am a good citizen and I love to help everyone on this channel because I am such a good person and I love helping you guys, I'm going to give you my favorite jerk exercises, which each address a different issue and can actually be applied to lots of different issues that you can implement if you have specific problems in your jerk. So, number one, pause jerk. You can either pause here and then drive, or you can pause here. Now, pausing in the dip position will give you more feedback as to where your weight is during the jerk. So if you're someone who struggles with the weight being forwards, then doing a jerk hold here will help you understand that. If you're someone who struggles with the weight being overhead, overhead wrong, then a pause in the catch will give you a lot of feedback as to where you should be in relation to when you catch the barbell.
Best thing you want to do on a pause is make sure you don't pause and then double dip.
Also, good one. When people do a pause jerk, I often see this. You go pause and they go like that. like a pause, and then like a little rebound.
Little double dip.
Even with the barbell tucked. What you want to do is pause, and then drive straight from that pause position. You don't want to do that little like rebounds thing. It's rubbish. So second exercise, which I believe is the one that actually should replace a jerk drive, is a push press, which people do a lot. So you're just in the jerk position, you drive with your legs, push through with your arms, and that's it. Drive with your legs, push through with your arms, and you want to get that head through on that last position and lock it up.
You can even integrate a pause into the push press as well.
So if you wanted to pause here, then drive up, that's also good. And that, for me, the push press is a great way to kind of tie in the using your arms in a jerk without using your arms, because a lot of people say that you don't use your arms in weightlifting, but for me, the arms are there as the guide and the final force of strength that you can apply to try and get the maximum out of a lift. The last one, which I think is quite good, is if you find your split position, which should be hips, like center, like not too much weight in the front foot, and then a little drive, and catch it. A little drive, and catch it. For me, that basically just helps to understand where the weight needs to be in relation to the front leg and back leg, because often you'll see a lot of people with more weight on their front leg. Say they're here, they might be like this, which leads to the jerks being forwards, or they might be back here, which obviously is really uncomfortable and not nice. So those are the 3 exercises that I would recommend top. To be honest, the pause jerk is so varied that could fix so many of your problems that really you could go just with those and you'd be happy as Larry. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk about jerks. I kind of just wanted to like cut the BS and like just say that sometimes we don't need to come up with like loads of new and exciting exercises, because you don't have to always change things for it to work. It's about finding what works for that specific athlete and then tapering it to that athlete. So if you have something in your program that you're not actually sure about, the best thing I would say is to, 1, question your coach, ask them why it's there, and if it doesn't make sense to you, then it doesn't make sense. And also, you need to have direct feedback when you do exercises. Why am I doing this exercise? Is it gonna make me better? What problem is it fixing? Because without that, then there's no point, and you're just like in this maze of weightlifting that you're never gonna understand. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as give the video a big thumbs up. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget I upload every 4 days, so subscribe. Okay, bye.